Well, you guys know I am a huge fan of Procreate brushes. I'm a big fan of supporting artists that create these brushes. So I found one on Instagram being sponsored. It was called Artystack. So I reached out to them and asked them if I could do a review about these brushes, and they didn't pay me or give them to me for free. I like to ask because some people don't want their products reviewed for some reason, but they were glad to have me check them out. And they have been sharing some of the art that I've done with them. So we are going to check out those brushes right now. This is, if you see here, is the line art brush set. They do have other brush sets. I chose the line art because with Jing Sketch I have more of my painterly sketches. With Trent's brushes, it's more of like concept art and stuff like that. And Gaius Cruz, it's just like really great for portraits. So I wanted to have a brush set for everything. Kind of like in real life, whenever I go to the art store, I like to just grab something that I don't have. And having all these different brushes has been really great. And as you can see here, this one I actually sketched with Trent's Warcraft brush. I love this brush. I like to use it for concept art. This is one of my characters from my comic, and I chose this one because it's really in the sketch phase. It's in the concepting stage. So what I'm going to do is create another layer, sketch over it with the Artystack. So let's grab this layer. I'm going to duplicate it just in case something happens to this one. I don't have to worry about it. And just lower the opacity so it's almost invisible. And we are going to change to black and just start from the top. So this is the solid monoline. What monoline means is that it's going to stay the same width throughout. So when you draw a line, you don't have to worry about it tapering or becoming thicker unless you use the broadside, but even that is really non-existent. I always like to check if Streamline is turned on, which is not. I'm a fan of Streamline when it comes to certain brushes, but when I'm doing line art, I like it to be quick and precise, and I want it to be the line that I'm putting down. Streamline, sometimes it's not really putting down exactly what I want, so sometimes it goes out of whack. So right here I'm just going to sketch this and try to follow the character here. And as you can see, this is great for animators, people who are drawing kind of cartoony and comic style, where their comics are more of comic strips, so all the lines are going to be uniformed. So this is the monoline. Now we're going to switch to the soft dynamic, or solid dynamic. This one is kind of the same, where it's a monoline, but if I let go of the pressure, the line does get thinner. This is great if you're doing comic strips, but you want it to have more of a Calvin and Hobbes type feel to it. See how I'm picking it up and it's kind of tapering. And when I go down deep, it makes a thicker line. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see the quality of this. My canvas is a 4K canvas, so it's a high resolution at 300 dpi. So even close up, that's when you start seeing some of the pixelation. But far away, you're not catching any of that. You know, unless you have a pack of vector brushes, and what vector is no matter how close you get, you're really not going to see the pixel because it's a vector. Raster is where you're going to see the pixel, and you're going to see it really pronounced, especially if you're zooming in or you have a low resolution canvas. The canvases on Procreate kind of default to like 100 dpi. I like to work a little higher because when you're at higher dpi, when you shrink it down, it looks really good still. So Softline's the one that I've been using almost exclusively for touch-ups and highlights, and this is the one that I'm going to be sketching most of my comic with. But I really love the feel of it. This one does have a streamline to it, but I turned it off. and I really enjoy it. If you do use the Streamline, this is one of those cases where Streamline does kind of help, because this has a feel like a fountain pen, and I found that it's a really cool fountain pen feel to it. And you know, if I'm doing a quick sketch, I'll sketch over here. If you use the side almost like a like a marker tip, which is pretty cool. But we can go on to the next brush, which will be the loose line. Now this one is very similar to the soft line, but it has kind of a jagged edge to it, and I find it's really cool. Especially it's got that almost like Pentel pocket brush look to it, and I think it's really cool if you're going for that effect. For the sword here, I'm going to do the wet loose line, and I'm using the side of the brush, and then here I'm going to go down straight, but it's almost got like an opacity, like it's wet, obviously wet. But I really enjoy this one. The dirty loose line, I really am enjoying this one for lettering. So you know, if I sign my name, see how it has that ink splatter, like the pen is broken, and I think it adds like a really cool effect to everything. And this one is streamlined. I'll drop it down to maybe 13%. See the difference? It doesn't kind of follow you too much, but this one and the Softline I'm really enjoying. Ballpoint Pen is very similar to the loose line, but the Ballpoint Pen almost has the Monoline, where it's one constant shape, so it's not blowing up when you're going down hard on it, and even if you go light, it creates the same line. But you see here, I'm going really light, and it has a nice pencil feel to it when you go really light. This is great if you're doing backgrounds, you know, cityscapes. This is the old brush pen. So I don't know if you guys watch the channel long enough. When I dry out my brushes, I don't throw them away. I like to keep them because it adds a really cool effect to clothing and stuff, you know, waving in the wind. So this is a really good pen for that. I am so used to using the charcoal. So as you can see here, I like to draw like I'm actually using charcoal. But if you see here, it's great for little details, and when you close in, you can see they really took the time. Artystack really took the time to really give it a natural feel. It's almost like the Charcoal Master Pack by Lane Draws, where it really feels like you're using a legit, you know, piece of hardware. I call anything that's real hardware, anything here is software. Obviously the software is what's determining what this is, but it feels like real hardware, so you know, I really like that. This is the dry brush, and this one's great for shadows. So obviously I'm not gonna, you know, touch up the image here, but if you go far away, it really gives it that effect like it's a shadow, and I'm really digging that, especially for portraits and stuff like that. So this is the Chisel Line. This is one where pressure is definitely going to change the shape. So as you can see here, I am changing the shape just by moving the pen at different angles. So this would be great for the inside of the blade. And as you can see, it's starting to build up, and that's part of the reason why these brushes are cool, because if you mix and match them, you get some really cool effects. This is the Sumi brush. I like to use Sumi for, you know, inside shadows. If you're going for a Yoji Shinkawa look, where it's almost like you're using a real wet pen, this is a great tool to use. Obviously, you want to lower the streamline. As you can tell, I'm not a big fan of streamline, but you get this real watery brush effect to it, And I love this one, especially for my comic, because some of it takes place in another realm, and in the dark realm things don't look the way they're supposed to, so you can really give it that look that you're going for. Now, the jaggy, the messy, and the random comb I like to use in tandem. This is the messy. I really don't have much use for it, the jaggy and the messy, only for far away objects. This is the random comb. I'm going to go big for this one just so I can show you. So if you're using it for backgrounds, it's really nice because it kind of differentiates itself from the other brushes, so you can actually build up the background without really messing too much with what's in the foreground. And the multi-line, this one I like to use for hair. Anytime a character's punching, I like to make the multi-line drift off, and I just did a portrait of Malachi Black, and I did that with teeth. It looks pretty sweet, and I really enjoy it. But here I'm going to use it for shading. So obviously this is not like a finished product, but I just wanted to show you, just messing around. You can kind of see the shape coming forward now, which you didn't get with the Warcraft brush that I used before, because before I was just laying down a composition. But if I were to add this to the comic or make it a splash page, I would use these brushes to bring it to life, because my comic, I want it to feel raw and movement and movement in it. So I would love to use these brushes going forward. The one thing I do enjoy about Midnight Eye is that with every issue I have been changing it up. So one issue I might use strictly one brush, and for the first one I used a lot of the Lane Draws brushes. In the second one I used a mixture of the Gaius Cruz and some of the Jing Sketch brushes. So I'm constantly moving around and trying different things, and it kind of gives every issue its own feel. And this one is the wash. So this one's great if you want to use it in tandem with this wet brush. And what's nice about it is it's very pressure sensitive, so if you really want that shade to come in, you can go harder, but it will layer up. It's almost like it's its own multiply layer, which is pretty cool. But that is the Artystack brush set. I hope you guys can check it out. I'll link it in the description down below. I'm definitely gonna say it's a buy it, especially for the price. I think I only paid maybe $14 or $13 for it. I got it during a sale, but you know, there's always running sales. I believe this one was through Gumroad, but they're probably on Cube Brush or any other of those artist-centric websites. But I'm a fan, and they've been really receptive and constantly in contact with me. So I'm a fan, and I love to kind of show their product to the world. So if you guys can check it out, please check out the link in the description down below. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I know it's been a while since I've done a video like this. I thought I was going to step away, but you know, my kids were like, "Dad, you put a lot of hard work into that channel. You should keep doing it." And I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to keep doing it. The videos just might not come out as frequently as they used to, but I will keep it up with the shorts to kind of fill in the gaps for when these videos, I just can't get to them. But I hope you enjoyed that video. Please share it, like it, do whatever you got to do, leave a comment. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to keep it over 9,000. Take care.